Maybe it worked. Let me check. I've been getting errors for like 5 minutes. View channel. Switch. Okay. Okay, it's working. Cool. We live. What's up, cheese? I've been fighting this thing for like 5 minutes trying to get my stream up. Cool. Let me check the audio device because it sounded weird. That's fine. Okay. So day 87, code never day. Good news. Somebody who actually watched one of my streams, I think his name was Rob, I hope I'm not misremembering, reached out to me on LinkedIn today and just like set me up with an interview at his company, which is really, really cool, and I'm super appreciative for that. So I have a behavioral interview tomorrow at 2:30, which is really cool because, you know, obviously my previous one, it went fine. Like, I did good, but I think with the amount of people applying for that role, you're not going to, you know, move on. If you're good, you're going to move on if you're great. So I'm happy that I get another chance at least. Because honestly, at the end of this, if nothing comes, like if I don't get an internship or anything, I wanted at least to practice, like to get real life, what is an interview like? So very happy. Rob, if you're watching it, appreciate you. Yeah, things are turning up. It's, what I'm just saying, like, even regardless, if I don't get anything, this experience has been much better than I thought it would be to begin with. So as for what we're going to do today, I'm going to try this. I haven't looked at the problem at all. This very scary thing that I don't like is that is a low acceptance rate, which means probably a lot of edge cases that I am going to miss and lose my mind on. And then today, I want to try to figure out why when, okay, so it's disconnected. So like if we, you know, when we write and when we connect, if I like join a table and then I refresh the tab, I needed to figure out how to gracefully do this because I am panicking and killing the whole process. So obviously I don't want that to happen. What's up, Five? What's up? But that is for after we do a little leetcode. So let's try this. And hopefully this will be like no longer than 45 minutes tonight because I have my last day of work tomorrow, actually, for my part-time internship this quarter. Yeah, I do still have work in the morning, but it's supposed to be like 60 degrees tomorrow, so I'm quite excited. All right, you are given a zero-indexed integer array candies. Each element in the array denotes a pile of candies of size candies at I. Okay, you can divide each pile into any number of subpiles. Oh, interesting. But you cannot merge them together. Interesting. Okay. You are also given an integer k. You should allocate piles of candies to k children such that each child gets the same number of candies. Each child can be allocated candies from only one pile. Oh, interesting. Some of the piles of candies may go unused. Okay. Okay. How's your experience with your internship currently? It's been great. I've said this before, I think, but this is like by far the best, nicest boss that I've ever had. He's like, it's a startup and he's the founder. He's a former electrical engineer. He just is super passionate about the product and is like the nicest guy ever. So I've had zero complaints. I'm still probably, he said, next quarter for like when I come back. I'm not going to be working with him part-time or like full-time or anything, just because I have too much going on. But he was pretty much saying if he has like problems, would I be open to, like spending 4 or 5 hours a week on like just for like 1 week on a specific project, which super cool. And he also, I forgot to even mention this. His old company, he reached out to them on my behalf, and he said they might reach out to me soon. So, the nicest guy ever. It's not exactly what I would like to be doing like professionally or anything, because it's some audio signal processing stuff that I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me, but not super. But like for what you can ask for out of a part-time internship, incredible. I have gained a lot of like knowledge, maybe not for specifically like technical career, but like just general, like how to be an engineer. He's taught me so much, so it's really been really cool. Okay. So, I mean, obviously a check we can do is if k is greater than sum of candies. Yeah, I'm learning. It's probably never going to be applicable to anything else in my life, but like, learning to learn is still cool. I don't know if that's going to be worth it though, because you technically have to. Is sum O of n? Like, yeah, okay, it is. I just wanted to know, just because I wanted to know if there's some major thing that's happening in the back end that I might not know. Because I just don't know if going over at O of n and then checking is like fine. My other thoughts for this is like if I'm trying to word this. Like, because obviously my brain first goes to like find the minimum in the array, because you're always going to be bound by the smallest number. But then you have to account for. Wait, let me reread this. Because I want to know if, like, for say I have a pile of 10 and I have k equals 3 or something, can I split into 3, 3, 3? Like, can I do that? Each element in the array. Each child can be allocated candies from only one pile. But is it like one pile is in one sub-pile or one larger pile? Is what I kind of don't get. Like, essentially saying, say I split these into 3, 3, and 3. If I then allocate this to A, like, do these auto-cancel? Or can I still use them? I'm like kind of unsure based on the wording. Wait, what is this? We can divide candies? Oh, into 5 and 3, and this into 5 and 1. Okay, yeah. So I think a subpile is technically a pile? I think. Okay, so I think regardless, the upper bound is min of piles, right? That's the upper bound of, that's assuming that every other pile can be broken down into the min and be allocated out. Is there a case where you could, or actually, like if you had 1 and 10, and say you had k equals 2, can you take 10, split it into 5 and 5, and then allocate this to A and B? Like, I think so. I think so, because you would have 1, 5, 5. And then you would discard this one. Interesting. How do you chain these together, actually, now that I'm thinking about this? What's up, Steven? How'd your inaugural stream go? I watched some of it, but then I had to close. I'm trying to think if this is like quite jolly. I'm so happy for you. The grind doesn't stop, but dude, of course it doesn't stop. I'm trying to think of like how you would split this thing up. I think regardless, we can have this as a first step. Just, hello? Yeah. So, that's the quite obvious first step, just like this case. But then is it like a binary search type of thing? Just thinking because like you try to find the optimal. Like something like you go to the max of candies, and then we divide that by the number of people. Like we integer divide by the number of people down to see like what we could disperse out. Or is it like you're trying to find the common divisor point? Like you're trying to keep, like you start at 1, and then sum all of the candies divided by some divisor. Or, wait, fuck, what is divisor and what is dividend? Divisor's the... Yeah, okay, I'm not tripping. It's divisor. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Because we could sum everything divided by some divisor. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, the case of this, like the one that I drew out, which is 1 and 10. And it's like, say we divided everything by 1. We would get, we'd just get 1 and 10 again. But then say we divided by 2. We would get 0 and 5. But I'm trying to figure out, like, it'd be 0 and 5, but I need to figure out how you could, like, say, but this is, like, but this is twice. Like, it's multiplied by the divisor kind of thing, right? I don't know if that makes sense. What's up, Kai? I don't know if I'm making any sense. Like, I'm saying maybe we go from, like, we binary search from here to here. We check in the middle. Like, maybe we don't need this multiplied by 2? Because what we're trying to find is some divisor that is going to, like, what's the highest divisor such that we keep this condition of this, right? Because even if 1 dominates, like, say you have 1, 2, and 20, like, you don't want to split this into 10 and 10, and say k is like 4. The sum is fine, so it's going to pass that check. But obviously optimal is 5, 5, 5. So it's all going to come from this 20 term. So we would go from 1 to 20, trying to find a divisor that, like, if, in this case, the divisor is 4, that's optimal, we would first start at 10. So we'd come here, it'd be 10. And our array would be 0, 0, 2, which is bad because it doesn't meet that condition, so we move it down. So now our divisor is 5. 5 would still be 0, 0, but now it's 4. And that's fine because it's greater than or equal to k. Or, no, it'd be less than k needs to return. Does it go down to 5 or would it go down to 6? No, it'd go down to 5. Would the condition be k less than or equal to? Because the sum of this is 4, obviously. I don't know if this is making sense at all. I also just don't know if this is right. Like, I think it's fine. I hate these binary search problems. I'm so bad at binary search. The one thing I do need to learn in, like, the binary search problems is when is it this, where it's like, while L is less than or equal to R, and then the middle is like L plus R divided by 2. I don't know if there's like a significant difference between this and this. Because my brain always goes to this. L plus R minus L divided by 2. If anyone in the chat would like to educate me about this, I should probably just learn this now, but maybe after the problem. Because I remember the last binary search problem I did, it had this syntax, but then other ones have this. And I kind of don't know the difference. I don't know when to use one and when to use the other. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT after. Okay. But regardless, I'll take L as 1 and then max of candies. I'm just going to try what I kind of laid out. Divided by 2. So what's the case that we move left? We move left if the sum of candy divided by m for candy in candies is less than k. Because in this case, that's like this one where we start at 10 and then it's less than. So we need to move left. So we would move our right to left minus 1. Yeah, and then else we would move our left equal to, or middle minus 1, middle plus 1. And I feel like our middle should just hold the correct value at the end. No. 6 should be 5. Okay, so why is it getting 6? All right, humor me. Humor me I'm just going to try the other pattern that I see quite often. I have no reason to do this. I have no basis. I don't really care. What is the difference? What am I doing wrong? I wonder if this holds. Fuck. Doesn't hold. Okay. So I'm doing something wrong. I should probably just add print statements. Who am I kidding? I named them L and R. So we initially start off with our left at 1 and our right at 10. That's correct. And then our M would be 5 from that. Which, sure. Oh, do you use this when it's not indexing? Wait, I might have like solved my problem. I think we use this when we're indexing into an array. And this when we're doing values. That kind of just makes like sense to me. Because if it's 10 and 1, that's 5. Yeah, that's just wrong. Yeah, wait, look at me go. Wow. They said he couldn't do it, but he did it. Oh, sorry. I like forget sometimes that like people watch these. My fault. I thought it was funny. Ah, okay. So we originally do have M as 3, which is like correct. So I think we only set it. We should only set it here. Oh my god. I need to move that. Maybe? Shit. What? Oh, wait. Wrong case. Everybody hold on. Or I should probably just leave it commented. Huge. 28 minutes. Very slow, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright, what time is it? 12:40? Sure, we can try to figure out the panic thing. You can try to figure that out. I don't know if I'll have time or be able to, but whatever. Let me get this open over here. Okay. So, as I said earlier, the problem is that on refresh, we are panicking and closing. Well, we're closing the channel, which is fine, but then we're panicking because of a closed channel. We're like doing something on it, which is at hub 46. So what is it, 46? 46 is close. So So are we double closing something? Are we double closing it here? I think that might be the case, because I think we're hitting this not safe send. I think we're failing something here, and then we're saying, hey, we failed, let's delete. But then when the person goes to unregister, they're like already deleted, so they can't send the delete, maybe? I remember seeing something about sync when I was like trying to figure this out. Go to the client. I guess I already have a close. Okay, so this like seems fine, right? FC to unregister. Yeah, so do I just call close in my hub instead? Like, what if I change this to client.close? Alright, what if I try this? That was so simple. I'm the GOAT. Wow, powerful. But it's fine, because we can reconnect. But see, my player ID is 2, and that's bad. We would want our player ID to be 1, because we should have unregistered. But I think this is the problem that someone else brought up a while ago, which is like the naming convention in Game Manager. Yeah, this comment. Okay. So what would be like a graceful way of handling this? Because we are just like auto incrementing for a table. Well, actually, you know what we could do is we have the players, right? What is table? Players is an array of a player pointer, and when we unregister in hub, what's up, John? When we unregister in hub, do we ever unregister them from the table, actually? I feel like that's, I mean, we can figure that out pretty easily. I don't think we do. Something we could easily do is just player table dot players dot print. So we'll disconnect, we'll connect. We should join as player 1, sure. We then refresh player 2. So there's one player. Does that make sense though? Yeah, because we haven't appended the player yet. So we haven't gotten rid of it. So we need to figure out when a person refreshes and essentially we're deleting their client, like we're closing their WebSocket, we also need to unregister them from their table. Which could... How does that work, actually? Because I just thought through, like, so if a player leaves, we only want to strictly unregister them from the table. We want to unregister them from the table if they either hit the leave button, so they're unregistering themselves, or in the case that they refresh, we technically shouldn't delete, because there are cases where you just have to refresh your tab, and I don't want it to like unregister the client, but I don't know how to do that. Like, 'cause in our case, if you refresh, you break the WebSocket connection. If you break the WebSocket connection, how do we like know that when you reconnect? Like, something I'm thinking of is maybe like store the client, like give the client some hash number, or like something like that, and like store a hash as a client, and then if we can verify that it is valid, then they join back up. But I feel like that might also just be jumping the gun, and I could just like say fuck you to that feature and say like that's future agent's problem. Because realistically, yeah, I could use a cookie. I'm like very non-knowledgeable about cookies, if I'm like being candid here. I feel like I've used them like once, and that was a long time ago, like maybe over a year and a half ago. I've kind of just forgotten how that works. I think regardless of what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a client or what am I gonna do? Like maybe in the game manager have a handle leave. Yeah, I don't think I have that yet. Yeah, okay. One day I'll clean this function up, because I'm just gonna put this in a random spot. If you set them from the server, the browser just continues to send them in the headers. Okay, yeah, so that is kind of what I want. So do you think a fair implementation of this would be, like, for each client, give them a hash, and then, like, there's kind of a couple... There's kind of a couple ways to look at it. It's like, when to unregister. So either the client says to leave, the client refreshes, or yeah, it's really these two cases. Like, okay, the problem is that when you refresh, you break the WebSocket connection. But there are some cases where it's like, say you're playing a hand and you refresh the tab, you don't want to like immediately deregister them from the hand, because like what if they put a bet in and their internet was just slow and they were like, I need to refresh. Is that standard for WebSockets? Well, like when you refresh, you need to like reestablish a connection. Like that's just like how it works. That's how WebSockets work. So I'm thinking like if the player, like we hash each client, like give them a certain ID, then no, but it wouldn't persist over a refresh either. I'd have to like put that in local storage or something, but that's bad. Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, I could do a cookie or local storage. Okay, I think this is a down the road thing. We're doing leetcode today. We already did it. Didn't beat a whole lot of people, but it worked. Registering as users right now, no. I think I'm just gonna push. I'm thinking way too much about this. I just want to make a handle lead function. Is binary search extremely fair? I also dislike binary search. Except I did learn something about it today, so like, I'm not unhappy about it. Okay, so does the client know? I kind of forget what fields I have. So we have clarity. Okay. So we need to yoink this. And I think this is bad, but like you can only have so many players. I think we'll only max out at like 8 or 9, so it's fine. Put a player in the range of player table dot players. If actually, how do you delete? Or we could just clear. If player dot player ID is equal to the client dot player ID, then we will set the player tables at I to be equal to nil. Deregister the client from what? Deregister the client from the players. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do eventually, John. So, are you getting player ID? That's something I need to fix. But right now I'm literally just like taking the length of the player table and then adding one. But I do need to, what I'm gonna do now is loop up until the length of the player tables and see if any of them are nil, and if they're nil, we'll slot them in. But right now I'm literally just naming them player dash the number. I don't know. This is all pretty stupid. It's not meant to be like, I'm never going to set this up of like putting actual money on it or anything. Need your database? No. No database. This is purely like a for fun thing. I'm not planning on making this like real. Oh, sorry, I was just talking to my roommate. It will be real, dude. This would be a hellscape to make it real. Got an interview coming up. Good luck, man. Good luck. Apparently there's a lunar eclipse. That's what my roommate is going to see. It's quite cool. This is like happening in Chicago. So the greatest eclipse is at 3 in the morning. I might go pull up and watch that. We'll see. Okay. Where was I? I got distracted. Handle leave, right? So then we'll want to broadcast the state. And then in handle join, we'll change this to instead plus then can you for else? Is that a thing? No. Damn. Actually, you know what we could just do is take what this used to be, but then just update it. Yeah, so we're pretty much just assuming worst case where everyone is still occupied, and then if we ever set it to null, like if someone left, we can take their space. Okay. So now we need in the client.close function, we want to unregister them from the game, which is a little bit tough actually. Or actually, we would do it in here. We'd do it in onRegister. But let's run instead into the same problem. Do I actually just want to do this delete command? No, because I still want to save the relative player numbers. I don't want to cause those collisions. So how do I want to do this? We have a client.table ID. So what can we get from this? Do I have access to the tables? No, I just have clients. Fuck. So I need to make but our client also doesn't know what game it's attached to. Like, fuck. Game manager. Where do we know of the state of game manager? It's just in main, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just in main. The fuck are these comments? Like, the very stupid thing I could do is have the client, like, know what game manager it is. Just because the problem I'm running into is the only package that knows, the only object that knows what table IDs correspond to the actual table objects is the game manager. But the only information that I have the disconnect happening in is client and hub. Because the client doesn't know its player ID. Or the client does know its player ID. But even then, does that even help us? Like, you have a player ID and you have your table ID. No, because you still just don't know what game manager you're a part of. Fuck it. We're gonna do a bad thing, and I'm gonna figure out why it's bad later. So we're gonna go into here. So now the client does know what game it's part of. which means we can gm dot or c.gm dot unregistered. No. Isn't that awful? Look at that bad boy. Okay, let's see what breaks here. So we join the table, we're player 1. We then disconnect from the table. And everything kills itself, which is fair. Because I did a bad thing. Oh, is it because I now have nil values in my broadcast state? That's... I'm gonna have to do a lot of nil checks now. When do I loop over the tables? Yeah, this is bad, because now I just have a bunch of fucking nil values. Oh, God. Okay. Table variable types, so 147. So you see we're not meant to be there. Join the table, fine. We refresh, fine. Like, seems fine. Ish. Not really. Yeah, just nothing's getting sent. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna have to figure this out tomorrow. I gotta go to bed. It's 1 in the morning. I will see you all tomorrow. I will update you guys as to how the behavioral interview goes tomorrow. Yeah, hope you guys all have a great night. I will see you tomorrow for day 88, I think it is. All right, good night, guys. Or I should do the shameless plug if you guys haven't connected with me on LinkedIn or joined my Discord. Or any YouTube people that are skipped to the end of the video. You should do those things. Click on your interviews. Thanks, man. All right, everyone have a great night. Bye.